15 miles southwest of Edinburgh, a knuckled red fist rises from a soft green landscape. 5 peaks of rose-gold gravel stand bound together by grass and moss, like a Martian mountain range or earthworks on the grandest of scales. They are spoil heaps. Each peak rises along a sharp ridge from the same point on the ground, fanning outwards in geometric simplicity. Along these ridges, tracks once bore carriages aloft, carrying tons of steaming, shattered rock, discards from the early days of the modern oil industry. For around 6 decades from the 1860s, Scotland was the world's leading oil producer, thanks to an innovative new method of distillation which transformed oil shale into fuel. These strange peaks stand in monument to those years, where 120 works belched and roared, wresting 600,000 barrels of oil a year from the ground in what had been, shortly before, a sleepy agricultural region. The process was costly and effortful, however. To extract the oil, the shale had to be shattered and superheated, and it produced huge quantities of waste. For every 10 barrels of oil, 6 tons of spent shale would be produced. In total, 200 million tons of the stuff, and it had to go somewhere. Hence these enormous slag heaps. 27 of them in all, of which 19 survive. But to call them slag heaps is to understate their size, their stature, their constant presence in the landscape. Unnatural both in form and scale. Locally they are called bings, from the Old Norse binger, a heap, a tip, a bin. This particular formation, the 5-pronged pyramid, is known as the 5 Sisters. Each of the sisters slopes gradually to its highest point, then falls steeply away. They rise from a flat and otherwise rather unremarkable landscape: muddy fields, pylons, hay bales, cattle, to become the most significant landmarks of the region. Some pyramidal or square, some organic and lumpen, others still rising, raw-flanked and red, to plateaus like Uluru. Mere tips at first, they grew into heaps that shifted and reformed like dunes, then hillocks, then, finally, mountains made from small chips of stone, each the size of a fingernail or a coin, with the brittle texture of broken terracotta. These mountains grew and spread as barrow after barrow was dumped upon the heap. They rose from the land like loaves, swallowing all they came into contact with: thatched cottages, farmyards, trees. Under the northernmost arm of the 5 Sisters, an entire Victorian country house, stone-built and grand, with wide bay windows and a central cupola, lies entombed beneath the shale. Oil production continued on a massive scale here until the Middle East's vast reserves of liquid oil came into ascendancy. In Scotland, the last shale mine closed in 1962, bringing to an end a local culture and way of life, leaving mining villages without the mines to employ them, and only the massive brick-red bings as souvenirs. For a long time the bings were disliked, barren wastes that dominated the skyline, fit only to remind the region's inhabitants of an industry gone bust, an environment pillaged. No one wants to be defined by their spoil heaps, but what to do about them? That wasn't clear. A few were levelled. A few later quarried afresh, as the red stone flakes, blaze as they are technically known, found a second life as a construction material. For a time, blaze turned up everywhere, fashioned into pinkish building blocks, used as motorway infill, and, for a time, surfacing every all-weather pitch in Scotland, including the one at my high school. Blaze stuck in grazed knees, collected in our gym shoes, left a telltale dust across the jumpers used as goalposts, and generally formed the brick-red backdrop to our communal coming of age. But mainly the bings lay abandoned and ignored. After a while, the villages and their shadows grew used to their silent presence, to enjoy them even. It's easy to find the bings. You can see them from miles off. Just drive until you can't get any closer, and hop the fence. There's no fanfare. They are spoil heaps the size of cathedrals, or hangars, or office blocks, rising from the fields in artificial formations.